In the quiet town of Elmridge, nestled between rolling hills and sleepy fields, there lived a young man named Elias Reed. Elias wasn't born with much, but he carried a heart bigger than most. He was kind, soft-spoken, and always the first to offer help, whether someone needed a ride or just a kind word. At 21, Elias had just landed his first real job, assistant baker at Linden Loaf, a small but beloved bakery known for its warm bread and sweeter smiles. It was the kind of place where old folks gathered in the morning and children pressed their noses against the glass displays. Elias had grown up watching his mother stretch every coin, sometimes sacrificing her meals so he could eat. His father had left when Elias was 10, and money had always been a whisper of worry behind every smile. Still, Elias had never had money of his own, not like this. So when he received his first paycheck, his hands trembled as he held the envelope. $480.37. It felt like a fortune. The sun beamed down that afternoon as Elias stepped into the town's shopping center, heart thudding. He had always dreamed of owning things others took for granted. A new phone without cracks, sneakers that didn't squeak, and a jacket that didn't belong to someone else before him. He bought all three. By evening, he walked home with shopping bags swinging from both hands, pockets nearly empty but spirit soaring. It was the first time he felt successful. That night, as he admired his purchases in the mirror, there was a knock at his door. It was his best friend, Rhea Collins, a thoughtful girl with curious eyes and a grounded heart. Rhea had grown up next door to Elias, and though they came from the same struggles, she had always been more careful. Her gaze swept over Elias's new jacket, the sleek phone charging on the table, and the branded sneakers by the door. "You've been shopping," she said with a small smile. Elias chuckled, pride in his chest. "First paycheck. Figured I'd treat myself." Rhea sat down slowly, folding her hands. "That's amazing, Elias." "Really? But did you save anything?" "Not really," he admitted. "I'll get paid again next week." She bit her lip. "What if something happens before then?" Elias waved her off. "Come on, Rhea. Don't ruin the moment." But 2 days later, something did happen. His brand new phone slipped from his pocket while crossing the bridge on his way to work. It hit the concrete, bounced once, and slid screen first into the river below. Elias stared in stunned silence. A hollow throb started in his chest. At work, he was distracted. At break, he borrowed the manager's phone to call Rhea. When she arrived that evening, he looked more like a boy than a man. "I messed up," he said. "You were right." Rhea didn't scold. She just placed a warm hand on his shoulder. "Then let's fix it." She pulled out a small notebook and a pencil. "Lesson 1, she said, flipping to a clean page. "It's called budgeting. The learning curve." Elias leaned in, listening carefully as Rhea explained how to plan his earnings. They broke it down. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, 20% for savings. "But I barely make enough," he whispered. "Exactly why every dollar needs a purpose," Rhea replied gently. They practiced together. Rhea even helped him open a savings account at the community bank. Elias deposited $50 the next week. It wasn't much, but it was a start. Weeks turned to months. Elias resisted the temptation to spend. He walked past new shoes in the store windows, ignored discount tags, and packed lunch from home instead of eating out. At first, it was hard. His co-workers joked about his tight wallet, but Elias kept his eyes on the bigger picture. One evening, a poster outside the community center caught his eye. Advanced baking classes. Learn, grow, create. $300. Limited seats. His hands itched. He wanted it. Badly. He had saved $320. That night, he called Rhea. "Do you think I should do it?" She didn't hesitate. "Elias, this is why you saved." Turning point. The class transformed everything. Elias learned to work with chocolate, make delicate pastries, and decorate like a pro. His instructor, Chef Marin Duval, noticed his passion and invited him to help with weekend events. Soon, word spread. Customers began asking for Elias's cherry tart or those cinnamon swirls by the new guy. But Elias had learned something else too. money, when saved and used wisely, could do more than just fulfill dreams. One rainy afternoon, while walking home, Elias passed a young boy named Leo sitting under a tree with a lemonade stand. The boy looked cold and defeated. Elias approached, curiosity piqued. "Hey, how's business?" Leo sighed. "Not great. I'm trying to buy a bike before school starts again." Elias remembered being Leo's age, wanting things that felt out of reach. He bought 3 cups of lemonade, gave Leo $20 and told him, "Don't stop trying. You're doing something most kids wouldn't." Leo's eyes sparkled. That night, Elias told Rhea about it. "You're changing," she said softly. "Not just your life. Others, too." The dream grows. Over the next 2 years, Elias continued working, saving, and learning. When Chef Marin announced she was retiring and closing the bakery, it shook Elias to the core. But Rhea, ever the calm wind beneath his wings, said simply, "Maybe it's time to open your own." Elias laughed. "With what money?" She raised an eyebrow. "How much have you saved?" $9,400. It was more than he thought. Still not enough for everything, but enough to begin. With help from the community bank, a small loan, and second-hand equipment, the Hearthstone Bakery opened its doors. Business was slow at first. Some days he sold only 3 loaves. But Elias had learned patience. He reinvested wisely, created a cozy space, and started offering free mini loaves every Sunday morning. People came. Then more. Then more. One day, Leo, now a teenager, walked into Elias's bakery with a bike helmet under his arm. "You probably don't remember me," he said. Elias smiled. "Lemonade stand. Rainy day. You wore that same determined face." Leo laughed. "That bike changed my world." An unexpected letter. One morning, Elias found an envelope slipped under his bakery door. Inside was a letter with no name, just elegant handwriting. "Dear Elias, I see how you run your business, the integrity in your work, the kindness in your hands. I was once like you, young, passionate, with nothing but a dream. I'm retiring and want to leave my legacy in hands that will honor it. Enclosed is a deed to the bakery on 5th Street. Rent-free for 10 years. Keep baking. Keep dreaming. MD. Marin Duval." Tears filled Elias's eyes. Full circle. Years later, Elias's bakery became a town treasure. He employed young workers, especially those struggling financially. He taught them not just how to bake, but how to save, plan, and dream. Rhea, now a teacher, would bring her students for budgeting lessons every month. Elias always ended those lessons with the same words: "Money doesn't change who you are, but how you use it shows who you can become." He never forgot the phone in the river, the sinking feeling of being broke, or the kindness Rhea offered without asking for anything in return. One evening, he closed the bakery early. Outside, the sky painted hues of orange and gold. Rhea stood waiting, a notebook in her hand. "What's that?" Elias asked. She smiled. "Our first budget plan. Remember?" He took it, hands trembling. "I owe you everything." "No," she whispered. "You owe yourself everything. You listened, you learned, and you led with your heart." They sat together on the bakery steps, watching the sunset over Elm Ridge. And in that golden silence, Elias realized the true cost of his dream had never been money. It was growth, mistakes, kindness, and above all, hope. Moral of the story: true success is not just about how much money you make, but how wisely you use it to build, to grow, and to help others rise. Elias's story reminds us that every small choice can lead to a bigger change, and sometimes the most priceless things begin with a paycheck and a little guidance.